Alright guys, so what we're going to do today is talk about some things. You might be able to make some connections with what we're going to do today and also tomorrow, so pay attention and be a good listener. First and foremost, look up here. These are like our standards that we have in my room and Mrs. Miller's room. This is RL 2.9. Someone that's closer that can see this, would you like to read this? Raise your hand. Red, read that teacher voice, please.
I can compare and contrast different versions of the same story from different authors of different cultures.
All right, thanks, Red. I'm going to read it too. I can compare and contrast different versions of the same story from different authors or different cultures. Who raise your hand or make a connection with some of those words. Does anyone know the words that are in that we just read? Okay, Vivi, what words do you what words do you recognize?
Author.
Author. So we know what an author is. Lindsay.
Compare.
Compare. Who knows what compare means? Because that was the next question. What does compare mean? Wes.
It means you look at two things and you see what's the same about them.
Okay, so the words compare means same or similar. And then what's the word contrast mean? Jacob.
Different.
Thank you. So the word compare means the same. The word contrast means different. Do this if you actually have a connection with what we're talking about right now. Great. A lot of us. So we're going to be working with this today. And I also want to point over to something that I have to the right of these words. What is this? Does anyone know the name of that? Raise your hand if you know the name. Aiden, you know?
Venn diagram.
Say it real loud.
Venn diagram.
Everyone say Venn diagram.
Venn diagram.
Why do we use a Venn diagram? What's the point of a Venn diagram?
Really? Yeah.
Red.
You use it to compare and contrast.
Okay, so you know we use a Venn diagram to compare and contrast. So we're going to be using these words today and also Venn diagrams. So this is what, you know how every time we're in class I say, if Mrs. Arnold or Dr. Major Holland comes in and they say, what are you doing today? Well, you have to know what you're doing, right? This is our essential question. What are similarities and differences you notice in two categories? Who would like to repeat that, what I just read? Adam, read aloud.
What are
Similarities?
Similarities and different
Yes.
you notice in the two categories?
Okay, so compare similarities, contrast the differences. And we're going to use categories today. Can someone tell me what a category is? What's a category? Jake.
It's something you pick.
Okay, it's something you pick. Great. Can someone give me an example of two different categories that we're going to...
Maybe make a personal connection. When have you ever had to compare and contrast something in the real world?
Yeah, make a real world connection. Abby?
The Indians and the pioneers.
Oh, make a connection with what we've been doing with wisdom. The Indians and the pioneers. Okay, great. Awesome. Give me another one where we had to compare and contrast. Great.
Long ago and now.
Long ago and now.
That's good.
So those are two categories. Great job, great. Jackson.
Johnny Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed. Did we compare and contrast him?
When did we compare him?
I forget.
You know what's cool though? You totally just gave us a little
Insight to what we're going to
to
be
what we're
doing.
going to be doing tomorrow.
So Jackson, you must think in the future because you actually know what we're doing.
So make a connection tomorrow.
Compared and contrast coyotes and gray wolves.
Okay, so some reading groups did gray wolves and coyotes. We had some students doing Tasmanian devils and werewolves. So Wolverine, sorry.
Bella,
So-
what's yours?
Indian and settlers.
Yes.
Indians and settlers, hands down. So guys, what we're going to do today is, by the end of today's lesson, our goal is that you guys can successfully compare and contrast two categories and be able to talk about it. Now, you guys are obviously going to be working in groups because that's what we do. What are the expectations when you're in a group with friends? Give me one thing.
Be kind.
Be kind. That's exactly it. How's it?
Work together.
Work together. Bella.
Not fight with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no arguing because we don't get anywhere when we argue.
Be kind to one another.
Be kind. Everyone participate. Raise your hand if you're going to participate today. Hands down. So what Mrs. Miller and I did is we put you guys into groups. We're going to give you a category or categories to compare and contrast. For you guys, your goal today is to be able to find similarities and differences between the two. Some of your bags are going to look different than others. Ignore the other group's bags. Focus on your bags. We're going to give you guys 10 minutes to work. How many minutes?
10.
In 10 minutes, you guys are going to come back as a class, and you guys are going to share out how you did. When you share out, that means you're going to be in front of the group, sharing your work, and we're going to be comparing and contrasting what you did. You guys understand? We're going to have half of you working in Mrs. Miller's room and half of you working in my room, in groups. Then we'll come back and meet in my room. Brett, do you have a question?
Are we allowed to get in our iPads and look up facts?
No, well, that's what you do in your reading groups, but in this activity, you're not going to be on your iPads right now. But good question. Brett, do you have a question?
What happens if you what happens if you're close to a group and you do
You won't need, what's your group, whatever group you're in, Brandon, it's going to be totally different than the other group. So just focus on your group, okay? If 10 minutes aren't up and your group kind of gets done with what we want you to do, this is what we want you to do. We want you to think of more ideas. So if you get done early, Troy, what do we want your group to do? Think of more ideas. Everyone say think of more ideas.
Think of more things to put it. Think of more words to put in your parts in your Venn diagram.
Okay, so we're going to get Mrs. Miller, the groups that Mrs. Miller's going to take first. We're going to get those groups
You
out
need to
first.
go over the Venn diagram.
Oh, so this is your Venn diagram. Now we have to be able to label your Venn diagram. And inside your bag, you're going to have things to help you label it. But let's label it on my practice Venn diagram. What part is we have compare and contrast. Where does the word compare go on a Venn diagram? Claire. It's both, right. So where would I put that? Where would I write that word? Good.
Middle.
In the middle. So in my best handwriting, I'm writing the word compare. And take a mental picture of this because you're going to need this in your groups. Now the word contrast, that means different. Where do I write that? Where would I put that? Deny.
In the circles.
Okay, in the both circles. So I'm going to use a different color to help you see. And I'm also going to use a different color to help you see up here. Now I thought it would be kind of cool to use an example that you guys gave us. What's something that what are two categories that you guys came up with that you could compare and contrast by raising your hand? Great.
Wolverines and
Do what?
Tasmanian devils.
Do it.
Wolverines and Tasmanian devils.
Okay, so an example. I'm going to write PD, Tasmanian devils. Those are examples. Now you're going to see in your bags it's going to look a little different. But this is your example of how you set up a Venn diagram. Raise your hand, or don't raise your hand. Clap once if you understand what we just did. Great. Are you guys ready to get in your groups and work?
Yes.
Preston, how many minutes are we going to give you?
10.
10. What do you do what do you do if your group is done with what we want you to do? Wes?
Add more detail and add more stuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Add some more ideas to your contrasting circles and also some that are the same.
All right, so
Okay, so everybody should be working the whole time.
listen for your name. If Mrs. Miller's going to call her groups, and you're going to go to her room and get busy. Okay, here we go.
Mason, Grayson, Aiden, Lindsay, David, Gregory. Quick!
Just go.
I want you to sit around one of my round tables and get started right away. Terrell, Trey, Braden, Preston, Evie. Sit around the other round table.
Any group that's leaving,
Colton, Sophie, Isabella Mullins.
any group that's leaving, I will be
Sit on the
around with the
floor in
camera
my
to
room.
watch and talk to you guys about your groups. So don't worry about it. Next group.
Bonnie, Annalise, Logan, Bella Scott, Jackson. Sit at one of the long tables. Callie, Carter, Matthew. Sit around the other rectangular
Carter,
table.
Carter.
Let's go.
All right, my groups, I'm going to put you where
Carter,
I'm
T.
working here. Adam, Elena, Alexis, Hudson, and Zach. I want you guys to go to that table. And this to somebody here. Hudson, you guys can start. I want Jacob, Lily, Nalani, and Vivi. I know you guys are missing a couple kids. That's okay. Go to that back table back there. Junior, Wes, Grace, Nolan, and Kelton. I want you to go to the round table right here. Maya, Troy, Abby, Kayla, and Claire. I want you to go to that table right there. Malaya, Nathan, Gabrielle, Marika, and Denai. I want you to go to this table. Gabrielle, you're already at the table. You guys work right here.
Does anybody have a marker?
boys and girls, if you look at the front of your bag, it has your expectations. So to be successful today to get an M, you need to have at least 9 correct on your Venn diagram. If you want to get a West, if you want to get a P today, you have to have 7 to 8 right. Anything less than that, that will be an L. So your goal is to work towards that M. You guys understand?
Yes.
Okay.
What's an E?
Open it up. Your group, your job is to create your own Venn diagram and your own categories. And then you guys have to compare and contrast whatever it is you guys come up with. You guys understand?
Yes.
I'll come back and check on you here in a minute. So red, looks like you guys already got started. Your job today Viv, is to come up with your own categories to compare and contrast.
Okay.
And you guys have already started by drawing your Venn diagram. Do you guys understand?
Well, halfway.
Okay, great. I'll come back.
Okay.
All right, guys. So what you guys need to be doing? You guys explain to me. What are we supposed to be doing right now? What should you be doing? First step is to what? Set up your Venn diagram. Absolutely. What are your 2 categories you're focusing on? Computer and perfect. Why do you have a glue stick? All right. I'll come back and check on you in a minute. All right, you guys. What are your 2 categories you're focusing on? Check again. Please look through all of your words. What are the 2 words that stand out to you?
I'm trying to do color.
What are the 2 words that stand out to you? There's something different about your categories. What's different about the word art and the word music? What's special about those 2 words? They're purple. Every other word is black. Your 2 categories that you are comparing and contrasting are art and music. Have you guys figured out your categories yet? What are your 2 categories?
It's Superman and Superwoman.
Awesome. What is a good tip, guys? Hey, what's a good tip before you start gluing?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know would not be an answer that I'm excited about. What's a good tip before you start gluing? So you don't make a mistake when you're gluing. What should you do first? When you start laying your stuff down, what should you do? Before you glue. I'll come back to you. Just came up with Halloween and Christmas. So tell me something that's different about Christmas and Halloween.
You get presents in Christmas and candy in Halloween. I like the presents better because the toys last longer.
Okay.
Candy and Christmas.
What's something that's the same about the holidays? Go ahead, Nolan.
You get candy. You got both holidays are fun.
Okay, cool. Great. Keep it up. Come up with as many things as you can. With computer and iPad, they both have a screen. You can both do ST Math, Extra Math. Apps are on both. Okay.
Missing one.
Can I do it? But what is that? Horton.
He wants to do Santa and Mrs. Claus.
You know what? I think that's finding something that's similar that you guys all have an idea about is smart. So, Red, you said gray wolves, but not everybody knows about that stuff. But Santa and Mrs. Claus, I think you guys all have somewhat of an idea about those 2 characters.
Yeah.
Maybe do that. That's not a bad idea. Make sure you write those clear so that we can see as you compare and contrast.
Okay, I'm gonna write Santa.
Something else that you could add that I don't have on there for you. What's something else that's either the same or different?
Play.
Tell me something there, Elena. Do you have something else?
You can do play.
Play for which one? Okay, well, you already have play written down there, though.
I said play.
Oh, play.
What if they both have?
Where would you put play? In both? Well, then, if you think it should go in both, add it in there. Write it with your pencil. I have a question. While you guys are wrapping up what we have printed off for you, what's something else that you guys could add to either compare or contrast these two characters? Something that we didn't come up with. What's something else? What's another difference about Superman and Superwoman that we didn't come up with?
Superwoman has a crown on her head.
That's true. Where would you write that?
She does? Yeah.
Will someone write that, please? Write it nice and large. Nice job. Your categories are night and day.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you guys have blank pieces of paper, and you guys are writing your own ideas down. What's something that you can? What's something that's similar between night and day? That's something that's. I see that you guys put that for a difference. What's something that's? Say what?
They play it right.
What do you mean they play? They play or you play? So you both. So you guys can play in both night and day. Okay, that would be a compare. Think of some more ideas, and I'll come back around. You guys have 3 more minutes before we share out as a group. 3 more minutes before we share out as a group. That will be your 10 minutes. Come up with for that we didn't have printed off for you.
Both online stuff.
Write it down. Write it nice and big. Both have online stuff. Okay. Is there something else that's different between an iPad and a computer that we didn't come up with? Like what does an iPad have that maybe a computer doesn't?
A computer can't travel.
Awesome. Write it down. Okay, so talk to your group about that one. See if they want to add that. All right, guys. So what we just did as a group is you had to compare and contrast 2 categories
What did you notice about that activity?
by raising your hand. Abby, what'd you notice?
Some were different, some were same.
Some were different, some were same. Lindsay?
I noticed that everybody was working together.
Okay, in your group, maybe you noticed everyone was working together. Braden? What groups were surprised that when you took out your categories, you were surprised at what categories we gave you? Who were excited about your categories? Some of you had Superwoman, Superman, Super Sycamore, Queen Mean. Who was surprised that we gave some of your groups no categories and you didn't come up with them? Awesome, hands down. Well, we're excited to share out a few of these, so let's listen up. Expectations are as always. If it's your group that's sharing, you talk loudly, and everyone in the audience is respectful by listening to the person speaking. You guys understand the expectations?
Okay, and so the goal, boys and girls, too, is I want these groups to share out, but if you see something that, you concur or oppose, let us know and we'll discuss it. Also, some groups that weren't able to complete the activity, we will give you time. After you see what we're doing here, it might spark a little light bulb. Okay, you're like, oh, that's what we were supposed to do, or oh, wait, I know what to do now.
You might catch a mistake, and if you're in the audience and you catch a mistake, just raise your hand. All right, so if you did music and art, come on up. Obviously, don't stand in front of your poster, stand beside it. And you guys, and anyone in the audience, just start in your head, start reading what they did. Read their categories, read what they wrote. All right, so.
Please use your teacher voice. Remember, it is part of your grade in 2nd grade to speak loudly like a teacher and present your material.
All right, guys, go ahead.
We had 2 categories, and one was music and one was art. And music, we taught sing, notes, and dance. And instruments were all in the music. But I think the ones that are the same were specials, teacher, creative, and fun. And play. But on art, our other category was art, and we saw color wheel, clay, draw, paint for all in the arts and sections.
What do you think, Zach? Do you think that this task was difficult for you?
Kind of and kind of not.
Kind of and kind of not. Why do you think it was easy? The kind of not. Why do you think it was easy for you to put these where they belong?
Because once you put it up, you could just find the other thing
Do you go to music, Hudson? Do you go to art? So do you have a personal connection with music and art? And all of those words, Alexis, that are up there, do you have a personal connection? So maybe that's, do you think maybe that's why it was easy for you guys to put those where they belong?
Audience, concur or oppose that you guys also have a connection with what this group did. Raise your hand if you all go to art and music. Raise your hand if you agree or concur with them with what they did up front. Good. You know what I really like about this group is that they help each other read the words without shouting it out or interrupting each other. That was really nice. Give them a round of applause.
All right, so David's group was a little different. And David's group, I would like for you to explain what was different about the bag that you got. Hold on, wait till your group's up here, okay? And then I want you to turn around. I want you to turn around and face your audience. Okay?
A little bit. All right, teacher voice, David.
We had to write our own back because some of them were blank and we had to write our own on it.
What was your categories?
Cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs. Okay. So what are some of the things that you guys came up with for cats and dogs?
Cats are very good
David, stand to the side, please.
Cats are afraid of water.
Dogs bark.
Dogs chew bones.
Lindsay, what did you put on there?
I put dogs chew bones, and I think dogs are not afraid of water.
Okay. Does anyone in the audience see anything that you guys can read what they wrote? Does anyone see anything that you would change or add? Jacob, what do you see?
I would change dogs to
I'll phone a friend. Anyone else see something that you would change or add? Elena.
I think that they should make little things more straight.
Oh, so just the visual, it's a little bit confusing. Okay. Maybe next time we try this activity. I think they have some pretty good points.
Do you have a new one?
I have my one right here. Remember my pencil that I always have? Remember, I always keep it here so that I don't lose it. Remember I told you? I would concur that I think they have some pretty good points here. You guys concur or oppose? Good. All right, guys. I will say for a tip for any other group that's coming up, speak to the group, not to the board. Speak to your friends, not to the board. All right, give these guys a round of applause.
I want to remind you of the expectations. There is no specialty seating. You should be on your back pockets crisscross, sitting up nice and tall.
Okay, next group. We have, oh, this was a cool group. This is Red's group. Come on up.
I would like for this group to explain how yours was different as well. Okay? How was yours different?
Teacher voice.
We had to write. We came up with our own categories, and plus we had to write it down.
Okay. And what categories did you guys come up with?
Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus.
All right, that's a cool, two cool categories. And what did you guys come up with when it came to comparing and contrasting those two?
On Mrs. Claus, she does not bring presents to kids.
Okay.
On Santa Claus, we said he delivers presents.
Okay. Anything else?
On Mrs. Claus, it says she bakes cookies.
Okay.
On Santa Claus, we said he has a beard. On Mrs. Claus, she has a sweet voice. On Santa Claus, she has rosy cheeks.
Okay.
On the both, we said they both have white hair. And in both again, we said they live in the workshop.
All right, who can make a connection? Who's making a connection with this group's categories? Okay. Who has something they would add to this? Terrell? Teacher voice, can't hear you. Oh, so you're saying the way it looks. Sure. Who has something that you could add as part of the categories? Claire?
I think they needed to add more on Mrs. Claus.
So what I'm asking you to is give me an example. Like, what does someone have something that we can add? They could actually add to their Venn diagram. Braden?
That they both have to do more than work.
Oh. Okay. Like you mean Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus? They both have to work hard. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Where would you put that? In the middle under compare. Nice job, Braden. Elena, you have another one?
I have 3.
Give me one.
Do you know that Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus have rosy cheeks? They have what?
Oh, so you would move one of theirs. So they said Santa has rosy cheeks, but Elena's saying that both of them do. So that, Elena, where would you put that?
I should put them in compare.
Okay, great. All right. All right, guys, let's give these guys a round of applause.
Okay, so I have another group here, and I actually, this group, I want to see if, as a class, we can help this group complete this Venn diagram.
So we really need to
And
get
I think it's something you guys will really like. Matthew, Carter T, and Callie, come on up, please, and bring your baggie, please.
So you guys already noticed what their categories were, but let's have them tell us. So you 3 guys, what did you guys? What were your categories you had to compare and contrast? What were your 2 categories? Those are your categories.
Super Sycamore and Queen.
All right, so we all concur that you know who Super Sycamore is and Queen Mean. Okay, good. So now let's help this group put these in the right spots. So what's one of the, Callie, you have all the words. Why don't you read one out, or all of y'all can read what's in your hand. What's that say?
Man.
Okay, so everyone raise your hand. Where should they put that? Preston.
Under Super Sycamore.
Concur? Great. All right. Matthew, what's the next word? In your hand. What's the next word?
Purple.
Audience, purple.
Super Sycamore.
Yeah. What color is Queen Mean? Okay.
And orange.
No.
Red hair.
That- Woman.
Queen.
Okay. What's our next word?
Cape.
Cape.
Super
Both of them do. They look different, but they both have one. All right, what's the next one? What's that next word, Matthew? Mask. Oh.
So they can't see the
Alright.
face.
What's the next word, guys? Mean. Well, Denai has a good point. Based off the last episode, she's not mean anymore, but she used to be. Villain. Lydia, have one more word.
She's not mean anymore. Wait, it depends. Okay. In episodes.
So in episodes.
Oh!
Nice job, guys.
Oops, sorry guys.
Does anyone have another one? This is a pretty cool category. Does anyone have another one that you would add to either one? Either one? Greg? West it up.
I forget.
Before you have a clear thought in your head before you raise your hand. Claire?
Ooh, I can't hear you, hun.
What's that?
And Super Sycamore. Nice.
Super Sycamore is okay, nice. But I think Denai would argue, because I heard her say something, Denai would argue, where would Denai put the word nice at?
Both.
Both, because now Queen means good, so I might put nice in the middle. Give me another one, Red.
I would put in
Okay, they both run in the hallway. Absolutely, we've seen that. Lindsay?
They both give super stamps.
Well, based off that last episode, they both do super stamps. But I would say super stamps in general go to who?
Super Sycamore!
Terrell?
They both have secret identities.
That's really good. They both have secret identities. That's good.
But you guys have a seat.
Yeah, let's give this group a round of applause. All right, guys, so listen up. Like I always say, if Dr. Major Holland or Mrs. Arnold walks in, what did we do today? What did we learn today? You all should have your hands up. You all know we just did it. What was the point of today's activity? Vivi. To compare and contrast. Give me one of these if you feel like you're a little bit better at comparing and contrasting. You're going to need this skill tomorrow when we do another lesson where we're going to be using a Venn diagram to compare and contrast two different categories. All right? You'll find out tomorrow.
You might be doing that alone.
All right, guys.
Miller kids, we gotta go.
Miller's kids, you got to go. My kids, quiet.